And I think they own the tiebreaker over the Miami Heat as well. So we're going to break it all down, talk about it, have some fun right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, family. The Chicago Bulls face the Toronto Raptors tonight, man. This is we'll see. We'll see how real the Pat Bev effect is. We'll see how this team attacks the defense and length of the Toronto Raptors as well. That's going to be a tough one. Tough go for the Chicago Bulls. In the first matchup, that length gave the Bulls a lot of fits. Now they fared much better in the second matchup. How is the scheme of Coach Billy Donovan? Billy Donovan's coaching is going to be highly important in this game. And if you're like me, that's a scary thing to rely on. So we'll see if the Bulls can maintain their good defense. If Zach LaVine can keep looking like the elite offensive player he has looked like since the All-Star break, if the Bulls can do those things, take care of the ball, play efficiently on offense and defense, hit their shots, and have their role players play their role well, we can definitely beat this Toronto Raptors team. But if you notice all the things I just listed, it's definitely a tall order for the Chicago Bulls to do. With the win today, they can move into a play-in spot for sure. And we'll see how it ends up shaking out for the Chicago Bulls. Like I said before, this game has some implications for the play-in race overall. Just if the Bulls can do that, they already own the tiebreaker over the Heat, the Hawks, and they could the Toronto Raptors today. When you look at that, there was all teams in play-in spot. So it's an important race right now. And for the Bulls to be able to, do the things that we hope that they're going to be able to do and accomplish in this offseason, this is going to be an important win for the Chicago Bulls that they need to try to go out there and get tonight. We need to see the execution. We need to see the focus. And we need to see the things that we've been seeing and build off the routine that you guys have built and respond to runs well. The Toronto Raptors will go on a run against the Chicago Bulls tonight. It's already written. Call it home. It's happening. How the Bulls respond to that run is going to be hugely important for tonight. So we need to see that as well from the Chicago Bulls team and see what they can do there. I have some faith in this team. I'm not all see red once again yet with this team quite yet, but we're getting there, right? This team is definitely showing some things. So as long as those things continue to grow for this team, the sky's really the limit for us, man. Sky's the limit. Jello is in the building, says, what's good, Haize? What's going on? Brandon Peck says, what's up, Haize? What's going on, Brandon Peck? Peck, a real one? Which Peck? Matt Peck or Brandon Peck? They both real ones, though. MJ in the building says, what's up, Haize? What's going on? Evan Lick, not saying I want this, but I think AK might sign Melo for wing shooting. Your thoughts? Also, a win today would be massive. I've said this before. My theory on Carmelo is Carmelo doesn't want to play basketball because I just can't imagine a world in which a player that averaged 13 points off the bench, efficiently at that, and rebounds and assisted pretty well, didn't get a job in the NBA. I think that Melo may just have quietly retired. So I don't know if that's the case. Nerlens Noel is out there. Hernan Gomez was also bought out. There's options out there. That's if the Bulls. But I do think in just being realistic, do not overlook the chance that this is a cost-cutting measure by the Chicago Bulls because our owner is Jerry Reinsdorf. It absolutely could just be that. The Bulls save $1.3 million by waiving Goran Dragic between now and the end of the season. So I would not be surprised at all if it's a cost-cutting measure. Now, I do hope that the Bulls are going to add somebody for that playoff push. I think they have until March 5th, I believe, to sign a player, and they'll be eligible for the playoff. So we'll see. We'll see. Triple B says, bet some money on the Bulls tonight. Can't wait to lose it. Well, listen, bro, that's why I don't bet money. Coming out the All-Star break, had no confidence, but things are changing. Absolutely, things are changing, especially when you look at Zach LaVine, albeit 2 games. But Zach LaVine's averaging 29.5 points per game on 65% shooting, 58% shooting from three-point range, 3 assists, and only 2 turnovers since the All-Star break. He's also having he's had defensive ratings in the last 2 games of 100.7 and 95.5. So listen, we need to see now, is he going to keep shooting over 60% from the field? No, that's just not going to happen. But we need to keep seeing Zach LaVine play efficiently, and that's important for the Bulls offense as well. Australians Are Free says, Kobe going to have a big game tonight. From your mouth to God's ears, brother. From your mouth to God's ears. Bulls Daily says, curious to see the starting lineup today. Yeah, because, Billy Donovan did leave himself an out. He did say that there's going to be some lineups where he has to start Patrick Williams. this may be one of those when you just look at the size that they have. So we'll see. We'll see what he does with Patrick Williams in this. Let's hope that at whatever he does, let's just hope that it's the right decision for the team. Chris Gewitz says, we need this W. We need every W, all the W. Somebody said in the comment section today that the Bulls need to go 14-7 over their last 21 games. And honestly, he's 100% right. Or she. I can't remember if it was he or she who left that. 100% right. We absolutely need to win, have that type of win percentage on the back half of the season for sure. Showing up early, saying hi, nothing untoward meant. Don't know what that part meant, but what's going on, B-Fire? It would be tough, but let's get this W. Yeah, I mean, Bulls got to be locked in every single game for the rest of the season. Should we sign Stanley Johnson? If not, who should we sign? Again, I'm not sure if the Bulls are going to sign somebody, but again, if they're going to, I think they kind of have to go size. And the reason why I say that, if for some reason, hold on, where's some wood around here? If Nikola Vucevic gets hurt on the back half of the season, our front line's done. So I don't know. Unless Marko Simonovic got some secretness and secret sauce. Dragic has to be looking at Marko confused as fuck why he got cut. No, it's not confusing. Not when it comes to Marko. Again, here's what I'll say when it comes to Marko Simonovic. Him being considerably younger than Goran and AK believing in his guys. Keep in mind, this is a guy who he'll wait on people. So if AK believes in any, and Marko still has potential, just defensive. If it wasn't for his defense, he'd absolutely be on the floor. And I think an asset. Marko right now could average 11 points per game coming off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. The problem is he'd probably give up 18 points in that stretch. So he has a skill set. And AK may just be willing to wait to see if he's going to pull it together defensively. I don't know. I really don't know. What's good, Haize? I was wondering if you think there's a chance Carmelo getting signed by the Bulls. I don't personally think there's any chance. I don't hold any hope for that. But hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Always good to see another video. What's going on, Mr. Quentin Johnson? From One Johnson said, another glad to have you in the building. Remember, we own the tiebreaker against Miami and Atlanta. Why do you always start everything off with remember? Who are you reminding? Who are you reminding? What are you reminding us of? Remember, don't forget when you think about it. Just say your opinion, Shay. You got some good opinions. Just say your opinion. You ain't got to preface it, brother. Shay's my little brother. I got to throw him some shit. Remember, we own the tiebreaker against Miami and Atlanta, so this win tonight could definitely help us when it comes to moving up the standings. 100%, bro. On point as always. 100%. Sign Will Barton. Will Barton is already signed with the Toronto Raptors. So we will not be signing Will Barton. He is signed with the Raptors. I don't think he's playing tonight. I don't think he can. But that's not a possibility. Will Barton is signed. Don't forget to like the stream, boys. Yeah, Triple B told y'all, don't forget to like the goddamn stream. Hit the goddamn button. I need to pull that clip. It needs to be a clip on the soundboard. But all right, let's see what else we got. Motherfucker, we still in the Commonwealth. We ain't free. Oh, damn. That's that Australian shit. Justin Shelton in the building says, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? Justin, glad to have you in the building as well. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm not going away anywhere, but I got to set up this playback TV stream for my guys today who are going to be streaming this game. By the way, go on playback TV. Not we, because I don't do live calls because that's just not my skill set. But C-Dub from the Cognac Boys will be doing a live stream, a live call during the game. I gotta type that description right quick. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all tuned in and locked in with us on Playback TV as well. It's a great program, honestly, because what you can do in that case is the game's actually on the screen and you can switch back and forth between the game commentary and the live call that C-Dub's doing. It's a great thing, great to interact. Make sure you guys are tuned in for that. I just set it up. So make sure you guys are tuned in. Make sure you guys show up for that. I'll put a what the fuck is that? I don't know what that just did. I just fucked something up, y'all. But hey, charge it to my mind, not to my heart. I be fucking up sometimes. Listen, players fuck up too. Just posted a link to the Playback TV. You guys can join and be a member of that as well. But let's keep it moving. Back on track here. Haize, do you think the Bulls would rest our vets on back-to-back games? I don't think we can afford to right now. I really don't think we can afford to. Looking at it, I think that, the Bulls would have to win so many games before we can really worry about resting people. We need all these wins. So I don't know. I think the bigger chance is that the Bulls play good enough to where we can start resting our start. Like if we can start holding on to leads, we can rest our starters in fourth quarters, but I don't necessarily know. Chi-Town Javier says size and shooting, but most likely that won't be available. So just pure size works too. Facts. Frost in the building says Pat Bev is a better coach than Billy Donovan. At least he doesn't pace around chewing gum and scratching the settle game. Well, keep in mind, Pat Bev is an extension of Billy Donovan because he believes in Billy Donovan's game plan. And what we're seeing is that a player that is bought in and a leader running Billy Donovan's game plan. Pat Bev is having the same effect as Alex at the beginning of last season, maybe even better. Also, what's up, Haize? It's been a while. Crazy boy players, glad to have you in the building. It has been a while. Has it been since like 15 games into the season, if I'm not mistaken? What are you hoping to see tonight from the big three and role players? Execution, efficiency, defense, not getting down on yourselves, matching big runs. That's what we want to see. Who should we sign, Haize? Jesus, Levante, Christ, because that is the only person who can help the Bulls right now. I'm just playing. Honestly, I don't mind the proposition of signing Nerlens Noel. I'm not fully against it. Because keep in mind, he's really just going to be in the bench big. He's not going to be maybe somebody who can shave off a little of Vooch's minutes, serves the back end of the season if it really looks like we're going to make a playoff push. But outside of that, like, I'm not really too high on Hernan Gomez. I know he was just waived and released. I really don't know, man. I really don't know. Like I said, I would not be surprised at all if this was a cost-saving measure from the Reinsdorfs. I just would not mind that at all. Dilbert says, I like Nerlens' defense a lot, especially against a team like Milwaukee. That's a great point there. And one thing about Nerlens is that he can play next to Vooch in stretches, right? Still, you don't want to do heavy minutes. He can play next to Vooch. He can play next to Drummond. It's just at that point, if you're going to play Nerlens Noel and Andre Drummond, you need all your shooters. It has to be Kobe, Zach, and Patrick Williams out there with them. You need all people who can stretch the floor and then just let them just fight for rebounds and block shots. Like, that's what you need if you're going to play them two together. So Chris Gewitz says, I feel like we don't need to sign no one, just hold on the money. Listen, are you secretly Jerry Reinsdorf? I think you secretly made. We just found out that Jerry Reinsdorf does indeed have a burner YouTube account. So Jello says, I feel like DeMar will take over this game. Well, keep in mind, against the Toronto Raptors, if I'm not mistaken, both games, DeMar didn't have that big of an impact because the length does bother DeMar DeRozan. The length of the Toronto Raptors makes it hard for DeMar DeRozan to get to his spots. So, they could technically still, he still could have a big game, but they're going to have to attack before the Toronto Raptors set up their defense, meaning they're going to have to rebound the ball well. They're going to have to do those type of things very well for them to have success in that case. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen. Let's look at the game log. I just want to see how did he fare against the Toronto Raptors the first two times. Did he even play in those games? Did he not play in those games? So DeMar DeRozan in 2 games against the Toronto Raptors. In a loss, he had 20 points. In our win, he had 9 points. So in both games, so he shot a combined 9 of 15 against the Toronto Raptors. I don't know. I don't know. Sydney in the building says, are you surprised the Bulls are making these kind of moves, especially if they're small moves? Do you feel confident they'll do something during the offseason more now? Oh, they have to do. There's not a world in which AK can sell anybody on continuity for another offseason. They have to do something this offseason. That's not an option. They have to do something. Whether it be starting and coming off the bench, Patrick Williams and Io should look to be aggressive on the offensive and defensive end and make a big impact. Yeah, and they got to get out in transition. That's one thing that's going to help them. They have to get out in transition. It's Seaway's World says, squatting heavy in the gym right now, listening to you in honor of this W today. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, glad to have you in the building. With the open roster spot, it's time to start pushing my D Rose narrative, where D Rose is not getting bought out. So you can keep pushing that narrative. He's not getting bought out. Vadi the Great says, game day. You already know what it is. It's definitely game day. What does Pat see in Billy that I don't? I don't know. I talked about that over on Locked On Bulls today. But whatever it is, Patrick Beverley believes in Billy Donovan's game plan. And he runs it. And he makes sure that everybody runs it as well. So if you like the way the Bulls offense has been running, it is Billy Donovan's scheme. Pat Bev is just running it and making sure that the team runs it in the half court and stays in it when things get tough. I'm still not sold on Billy Donovan long term, but hey, Patrick Beverley is. Everyone coming back when we about to play them. Ivy, Bojan coming back, and KD coming back for Friday. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's the playoff push. Everybody's making their push for the playoffs, man. Tristan Thompson's going to rise from the ashes. No, the fuck he's not. Like, no, he's not. Maybe some of his you know what? I'm trying to get better on making those type of jokes, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let it be. I'm going to let it be. Steven says, do you think we'll cough up the money for Io and Kobe? I don't know about both of them. If it's both of them, that probably means Alex Caruso or somebody else is gone. But there's a chance. Bulls about to pick Bradley back. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. Be cool if Mirotic was signed for the playoffs. Listen, that man is not coming back to the NBA or Chicago. What's up, Haize? Question pertaining to what KC said earlier in regards to waiving Dragic. What do you honestly see us doing in the offseason? Because we're $1 million below the luxury tax. Well, that's now. That's now this season. Next season, going into next offseason, we're $13 million below the luxury tax. So this move of cutting Goran Dragic does nothing for our offseason. So I just want to clear that up. As far as what I see us doing in the offseason, like I said, like I keep saying, nothing the Bulls can do changes the work that needs to be done this offseason. The Bulls are going to have to get creative financially because they have 9 guaranteed contracts that would take them over the salary cap but below the luxury tax. And they're going to have to get creative. There's going to be, I said I have a video over on the members only tab. Be prepared for one of your favorite Chicago Bulls players to not be back on this team next season. And that's just to separate some money and to bring in some more players. So Archangel in the building says, by the way, Archangel was my favorite X-Men growing up. Well, after Wolverine. Wolverine was everybody's favorite, though. Zach LaVine thought he had a picture of Abraham Lincoln in his locker, but it turned out to be a mirror. Zach Abe Lincoln beard. Zach LaVine does not have an Abe Lincoln. But keep in mind, Abe Lincoln had no mustache. I get where Pat the designer said that, but as long as you have a mustache, it's not an Abe Lincoln beard. Abe Lincoln had the first Philly beard. That's what it was. Haize, I love seeing Pat Bev be a floor general, waving his arms, moving people around on offense, but Zach and DeMar have to let him do it and not have too much. They have been. What are you talking about? They have been. We have run a fraction of the isolations that we ran before the All-Star break. Be it, it's all been 2 games. Now, DeMar has gone into isolation some, and Zach LaVine has, so it's not at a 0. And you're always going to have some isolation ball in basketball, but I think they have been letting them run the offense. Haize, I know this sounds crazy. A lot of shit you say, Shay, sounds crazy, but I kind of wish the Indiana Pacers would have waived Daniel Tice because he's proven to be very helpful. Okay, why are we wishing? It's not happening. It didn't happen. So, hey, it is what it is there. Let's see. Samir says, was going to go to the game in person tonight, but decided not to ruin my week. You live in Toronto? You should have went to the game. You should have absolutely went to the game, bro. I get it, and I get how, and you guys know I'm crazy. But I believe in going to games when you can go to games. I think you should have gone. You think you should have went to the game. Haize, do you think we can really sign a great player seeing how we're paying almost $400 million with our big 3 plus Zoe? Yeah, we can. Keep in mind, like when we signed DeMar, when we signed Lonzo, we had no cap space. So it's definitely possible. AK just has to get creative. So yeah, it's definitely possible. I don't know if that's happening this offseason, especially with the season that the Bulls had. Now, if they finish super strong, then you never know. You never know. Shay, we just talked about this. Why are you back to prefacing? You got to remember. Why are you back to prefacing, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing here, man? Billy Donovan likes no scrappy top players. Remember, Delhi played a big part of helping Lou. Shay, stop using speech to text, bro. Stop using speech to text, bro. So that's why Patrick Beverley gets along with Billy so well. What? Bro. Are you okay? Is everything okay at home? Did you drink some milk? I think you may need some milk, bro. I think you may need some milk, Shay. Haize, I saw a report somewhere that the Bulls may be interested in acquiring Dwight Howard or DeMarcus Cousins with the new open roster spot. Where did you see that at? That couldn't be from anywhere reputable. Like, best believe, if there was some chatter on that, I would know it. I've heard nothing like that. Nothing. I highly doubt they're looking at Dwight Howard or DeMarcus Cousins. We don't even know if DeMarcus Cousins has two good knees, right? We don't know. DeMarcus Cousins' knee, if you look and did an x-ray of his knee, I'm sure his knee cap looks like Jell-O. We're good on that. Haize, do you believe there's a realistic? No, he's not bought out. How are we going to bring him home? He's not a free agent. And next season, he has a contract for $14 million. Now, they're probably not going to pick that up. But I still don't think, at this point, I've been saying it. At this point, I'm over the vanity signings. I'm over the signings of anything that's not going to help this team win. Derrick Rose really don't do that. Like, he really doesn't. Like, it took the crowd to completely cheer Derrick Rose's name for Tibbs to even put him in a game. No, I'm good on that. Hey, I saw a list of top 5 bio players still available, and Tony Bradley was number 5. I was cracking up and laughing. Hey, listen, you know what's? I wouldn't even surprise me though. If Greg Popovich had a whole year of mentoring Tony Bradley, don't be surprised if he turns into like an 8-5 guy off the bench. That's crazy. He said, no, Nightcrawler was the GOAT. Nightcrawler could, it depends on what depiction in what series, because like Ultimate's Nightcrawler in the Ultimate Universe was a beast. Sometimes in the 616, Nightcrawler gets written as this whiny bitch, and I just hate it when they write Nightcrawler like that. So is Billy a better coach than we thought, since it seems Patrick Beverley wants to follow the game plan? So did players before Patrick Beverley not essentially, if that makes sense? I think there's a chance of that. I do think, especially when you go heavy isolation, that there's a chance that maybe players are going into business for themselves. I mean, there's a chance of it, but I still don't believe in like Billy's like ability to get us to like a championship level. Like, that's just my opinion. Bulls played great against the Raptors, so I don't know why everyone acting like their size and length bothers us. 4-2 in the last 2 seasons against them. Yeah, but it's not just, it's how they lost those 2 games, right? Yeah, we do pretty good against the Raptors. But that length and with how this team plays at times, let's just not act like it's a foregone conclusion we're just going to beat the Raptors. And I believe last season, a lot of the times we faced the Raptors, they weren't at full strength. When a player gets waived, do they still get paid their money they signed for? Yeah, if another team signs them, right? So, like if a player picks up Goran Dragic, they'll be eating the rest of the $1.8 million left on his contract. You think Lonzo can work his way into an extension with the Bulls? I mean, listen, Lonzo, anything's possible, but before we can talk about extension, we got to get the man on the court, right? It's hard to say that can we see a player extending with us when we have no clear indication of when he's going to get back on the basketball court. That's just hard. That's a hard task. Maybe it's just me, but I felt kind of sad seeing Dragic's goodbye post when he was a great contributor to our team. I mean, I can understand that. And some of the flashes that Goran Dragic gave were just, especially when he was running that bench unit and we were going and following all cylinders. Yeah, it looked great. But I mean, ultimately he played 51 games for us. So he's definitely gonna land in another spot. If the Bulls make it to the East Finals, no, because they already shut him down for the season. He's done. He's not coming back. You got to remember. Oh, bro, if you do a shot every time I say it is what it is, you're going to be a drunk motherfucker. That's all. Matter of fact, hold on. Just because you brought up shots. Salute. Just ate an edible, about to go cook dinner. Ironically, it's Alfredo, ready for the game with more excitement than I had these last few games. First of all, wait a second. Hold the horses. How you just gonna casually throw out there you just popped the edible? That's mad. You threw that out there mad casually, my brother. Like, was it a 500 milligram edible? Let's see. No, for real though, adding Nerlens Noel to this defense would be crazy. Well, he's not going to play that many minutes, so. Shot Ballers says, big fan from London. Well, glad to have you from across the pond there, brother. Glad to have you in here, man. I don't know how I feel about the Goran wave. We need more shooting at the forward position, so we'll see. Oh, I highly doubt we're adding a shooter at the 4, but we'll see. We'll see. You got to remember from your prosecutions. You fucking asshole. I love Shay though. Shay's literally like a little brother to me, man. Hey, is Jamal always eating Alfredo on your stream? Hey, listen, stop being lazy cooking Alfredo all the goddamn time, bro. Do you at least make the damn Alfredo from scratch? Have you never heard the phrase from across the pond before? Like that's literally a phrase that people use. I hate it when people correct people and don't. Come on, bro. Come on. I grew up in Europe. You think I don't? Never mind. I'm just gonna leave it be. Not to mess up your channel, bro, but if the Bulls lose, I gotta smoke a bong. Hit Haize. That's funny. That's funny. If the Bulls lose tonight, would you still believe in the Pat Bev effect? Yeah, I mean, it's not like it depends on how they lose. And again, like I said before, you got to see it over the extended period of time. So the Pat Bev effect, I use that title, I use that phrase because, you know, it's him signing and shit like that. But like, well, you really can't tell from 2 games. You won't be able to tell from 3 games. We really won't be able to tell the effect that Pat Bev has on this team and if it's going to be sustainable for at least 5 to 7 games. We're 2 games in. We got a 3rd game today. Let's see how it goes. This will be a great test to see how the Bulls will go. See red, guys. Absolutely. CFO says, chat just drunk and high today, huh? Listen, Alana ain't even in here. She's probably somewhere asleep. No, I can't make it from scratch, but when I'm cooking for family, makes me reach for the shit in the jar. Oh, come on. Jarred Alfredo is literally the worst, bro. Like, that's literally the worst. Jarred Alfredo is, Like, if I ever showed up to somebody's house and they made me Alfredo with jarred Alfredo, I'll literally be like, why don't you respect me? Right? What did I do to you to where you did this to me? Did I smash your mama? Like, what happened? Why did you do this to me? Jarred Alfredo is literally the worst, bro. That's tough. That's tough. Matt says we definitely need the bench tonight. Yeah, we need our role players to step up and play like role players. We definitely need that. Tony says rather lose to the Raptors, but beat the Suns, or beat the Raps and lose to the Suns. Beat the Raps because the Raps matter to our playoff seeding. Owning a tiebreaker over the Toronto Raptors is going to be huge for play-in seeding. So if I had to pick one, I would love to see us beat the Phoenix Suns, but for the nature of playoff seeding, I'll say the Toronto Raptors for that. Juan Miller says, can you explain how to become a member of your channel? You know what? If you go to the main YouTube page, right? The home page on YouTube. So you got to click the little icon, go to the main page on YouTube, and then there it says, it's a button that says join. So if you click that, matter of fact, hold on, I'll do this. Hold on, give me 1 second. So this is the main page of the YouTube. This join button right here, you click that to become a member. There you go. I helped somebody today. I can tell it's bad, but the kids can't. And at that point, okay. Listen, my kids are so let me tell y'all how spoiled my kids are when it comes to eating. So I used to make homemade ranch, which making your ranch homemade is better than anything you'll buy. And so like for the longest, anytime we had wings, and you guys know I talk about wings all the time. I love my wings. They wanted homemade ranch. And eventually I just had to be like, look, you little muff, I love y'all, but I ain't making ranch I'm not keep making jars of ranch. And then my daughter eats ranch like it's goddamn the best kind of like she's better now, but like for a year or two there, like when she would eat ranch, it would be like all over the place. It's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry. Anyway, side note there. I'm disrespecting you all day because Jarred Alfredo is what you gonna get. Oh, see, listen, now I'm gonna have to go home. I have to go home. I'll still show up and kick it with you, but I gotta go home. With the Dragic cut, do you think this frees up more space for Dalen Terry? No, because he hasn't been getting minutes now, and Goran Dragic hasn't played since February 12th or something like that. So no, I don't think that it frees up any more minutes for Dalen Terry. And secondly, does this move impact Pat Bev and makes a long-term contract commitment to him? I mean, that's going to be made in the offseason. I really think that's going to be determined by a few things. It's going to be determined by Lonzo Ball's health. It's going to be determined by, at that point, can they move? Because I don't see, if Lonzo Ball's healthy and he can start the season, I don't see a world in which they have Lonzo, Ayo, Caruso, and Pat Bev. That's also already mentioned that Kobe White's walking. So one of those players is going to have to go. And I do think that if there is a real world, even though Caruso's starting now, that they move Caruso see what they can get back to sign Pat Bev to a more long-term deal if Lonzo Ball's back healthy. If Lonzo is not ready to go at the start of next season, I really don't know what the hell this team's going to do, to be honest with you. I won't even front on you. Austin says, Haize, how are you? I wasn't here before. Thoughts on Dragic leaving? I mean, it kind of is what it is. I don't look at it as it kind of just is what it is. Starting lineup just came out. See, I always say 30 minutes before the game is when they release the starting lineup. Starters, Pat Bev, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Nikola Vucevic. Same starting five. We're running back. We're running it back, motherfuckers. We're running it back. This game's going to feel like a play-in game. Oh, I completely agree with you. Definitely going to feel like that. I don't see Lonzo being ready by the fall, honestly. Oh, I agree with you. As of right now, I don't see anything that shows any type of confidence that he's going to be back. So, Mike Milley says, you seen Pat Bev compliment? Yeah, I actually talked about it on today's episode. So, sick of people saying Vooch only plays well now because it's a contract year. He's always played well, barring a rare off game. Yeah, he's been the most consistent Bull all season. Last season was some things, but he admitted it. He said that he was trying to play outside of himself, things like that. But yeah, I would love to see Vooch back on this team at the right deal. Steven says, I've lost all faith in Lonzo coming back. LeVar gave them glass for ankles. Well, it's not his ankle, it's his knee. LaMelo, though, that's crazy with LaMelo. I knew Pat would start over AC for this game. Well, it's not the case. They looked at that and said, hey, y'all got length. We don't give a damn. We're running this back. Haize, would you actually keep Pat Bev over AC? I don't think I would do that. It depends, because this team has to add talent, and nobody's going to take Lonzo's contract. Alex Caruso offers a chance to bring in multiple players at the money that he's making, and I understand the business side of it. Now, as far as players, I think I would rather have Alex Caruso, but there's something to be said about the impact that Pat Bev has had on this team. So, I mean, at some point, it just becomes a business decision. At some point, you have to try to improve your team. And when you're a team that doesn't have cap space, you're a team that doesn't go into the luxury tax because of ownership, you got to give up something. So we'll see. But that's not to say that I don't love Caruso. I love Alex Caruso is a Chicago Bull type player. He's the type of player we love here. More minutes for Terry since Dragic's gone? No, because Dragic hasn't been here for weeks and Terry hasn't played. So no, doesn't free up any minutes for Terry. I really like Drummond's game, but he plays like an actual center, unlike Vooch sitting at the three-point line. Vooch doesn't just sit at the three-point line. I don't know what team you're watching. He doesn't just sit at the three-point line. I don't know if you're still caught up in last season. Vooch hasn't just sat at the three-point line for the majority of this season. So, and Vooch is a better player overall than Andre Drummond. Austin says, Vooch is underappreciated, to be honest. It's like people want to trade him due to his defensive abilities, but forget what he does offensively. You're singing to the choir here. I've literally been telling people all the time. People say, oh, well, let's just place Vooch with a shot blocking and rebounding center. And defensive center is like, okay, cool. But you do realize that the Bulls offense operates best when because of Vooch passing, because of Vooch's threat, because of Vooch's ability to hit a mid-range, a low post shot. If you just replace him with a defensive center that can't pass worth shit, it's gonna clog up the lane even more for DeMar DeRozan. So, and I think Vooch would be a completely different player if it wasn't for, and I'm not blaming DeMar, but if you didn't have a player like DeMar who operated as a low post player, keep in mind where DeMar gets his points usually is the same spot that most modern day centers get their points. So if you didn't have DeMar operating in that area as a post player, we'd see a completely different Nikola Vucevic, completely different. Vaughn with the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, my brother. He says, what's good, Haize? Just wanted to tell you appreciate you. Appreciate all you're doing this season. Without you, the season would have been even worse. Still need you at my sesh in TLL. Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. We'll see what we can make happen. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. And we're giving dope content all year round, man. All season it's not gonna change. Certification Poppies. It says, obviously, we're signing McCord Maker. I don't think McCord Maker is a actual NBA slot type player yet. I wouldn't mind them to sign him. Like if they move Terry, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they take Terry Taylor off a two-way deal and put him in as a full contract, and then you can go after a McCord Maker or somebody for a two-way. So how are we gonna bring Bol and he's under contract? Like just let me know. What next spasm, bro? What you talking about here, bro? Vern says, yo, Haize, appreciate you covering the sky. The WNBA really needs more attention. Listen, I told you guys, I've been talking to the Chicago Sky sales and marketing team. I talked to them again today. I had another meeting today. Chicago Sky Central is about to be the premier place for everything Chicago Sky, if it's not already, but I mean officially. That's all I can say. I'm not going to release too much. All I'll tell you is that I am officially working with the Chicago Sky, and I can't wait for what comes of it. That's all I'm going to say there. Vooch top 10 at his position? Absolutely. Absolutely top 10 in his position. Might be a good game to play more young, long. I'm trying to do better. Young, long Dalen against the young, long Raptors, though. Not that Billy will do it. I get you. I was joking about Maker, but I hope we get a big. Hey, listen, we'll see what we do. I've been saying Io is nothing special. People have crazy bias. It's embarrassing. I see him becoming a solid role player, but he doesn't need to be a starter for a playoff team yet. I mean, listen, what Io showed flashes of, I can definitely understand. Like there's great potential in him. Now, it was funny because at the start of the season, Pat, the designer, was like, hey, like, yeah, when Lonzo Ball comes back, he may not have a starting position because they may have to start Io. I was like, I don't know about that one, bro. I don't know about that one. But yeah, Io's hitting he's definitely hitting a sophomore slump. Let's see how he comes out of it. I would love to see D Rose here. Him and Beverly will give everything since they're listen, stop with that. Derrick Rose ain't got everything to give no more. Like it's over with. That's it. It's done. Hear me out. I know Terry Taylor is not all that, but I honestly feel like at the end of the season, we should give him some go. I like bro, honestly, just want him to get a chance. Well, he's going to get his chance through the G League and a two-way contract. So, CDA True said, just got done watching Chicago Sky Central, and I agree. Copper is becoming one of my all-time NBA favorites. She's a beast. She's a beast. Are you cool with BD's decision at the start? It doesn't matter if I'm cool with it. And I'm cool with anything that gets the Bulls wins. Now, do I think at a baseline level that Patrick Williams probably should have been in the game? Probably when you think about length, but I don't know about that. People fail to understand that Vooch is the third option on the Bulls team that does not use him properly. They don't run plays for him or get Vooch the ball to take advantage of mismatch. They do run plays for him. They don't run many. But yeah, I mean, as a third option, Vooch is one of the better third options in the NBA. And I think people look at what Vooch did in Orlando and forget he was literally the focal point of everything they did down there. But Vooch is averaging basically 18 points per game, 11 and a half rebounds on 51% shooting, and 3.3 assists. And I think he's averaging a block per game. Like Vooch is he's exactly what you need from him. And I know some people will say, oh, well, we need more of a defensive and shot blocking. We do need some of that. But that's why team construction is important. You're not going to get everything from one player. Releasing, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to release Dragic to make any room for Marco, because Marco is on a full NBA contract. You just got to play him. And Dragic hasn't been playing here. So, Haize, when I say D Rose will give everything, I don't expect another MVP year. I said it in a way that will have a better season than the Knicks. No, I definitely didn't think you meant MVP year. But Derrick Rose has nothing left to give. Like, at most, Derrick Rose average 8 points off the bench for us. If we do make it to the playoffs somehow with that starting lineup, would you use Haize, the same one we got tonight? The same. I mean, listen, if this lineup gets you on a run and this lineup gets you wins, you kind of got to keep it the same. One thing, and this is what I'll say, is that this lineup now, for so long, when the Bulls went small, they weren't forcing teams to play to their advantages. So far, in 2 games, the Bulls going with this lineup has forced teams to play to their lineup rather than the Bulls be forced to play to other teams' lineup. So, we'll see. Copper always been my favorite Sky player since she joined the team. Love her. Oh yeah, she's a beast. Aaliyah Copper is a beast. Hey y'all, might not want to hear this, but Miles Bridges, no, it's not that we don't want to hear it. It's just that this team ain't doing it. It's not happening. Come on, talk to him, Lester. He says 18-11 on 50% shooting is damn good production for how this team is constructed. On a team with lesser talent, Vooch would be a 20-10 player every single night. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kyle talking, I was just fucking around. Marco's clearly not NBA ready. It'll be interesting to see what move we do make. If we get size, Billy probably won't play them anyways. Well, keep in mind, like, no matter who we add, like, we replaced the player that wasn't playing very many minutes for us, even when he was playing. So it's not like it's going to open up that many minutes for anyone. If you're adding anybody, it's just kind of like an insurance piece or something at this point in time. So, Haize, who do you think we can beat in the first round matchup, Milwaukee or Boston? Listen, I love the way we match up against Boston. If I had to pick either one of those teams, I'm picking Boston for sure. Austin says, if we get a W today, I will honestly go nuts. Hey, man, listen, I don't know what you like to do in the bedroom. I don't know. It's not my personal opinion. But if you want to go for nuts, bro. Get the nuts all over your face. Bathe in the nuts. Bask in the glory of the nuts. Do whatever you got to do, bro. Like, I don't judge anybody based off what they do in their bedroom. It's not my place, bro. It's not my place, man. So, whatever you need to do with those nuts, hey, you got to go get it, bro. Go get it. Do what you got to do, fam. Do what you got to do. We don't judge here, bro. Would you be happy with a Derrick Rose return just to play out the rest of the season? Well, he's not available. He hasn't get bought out. Derrick Rose ain't coming. It's not coming. Now, I will say this. If the Bulls have so much that they need, I don't want to see any vanity signings. But let's say the Bulls completely reconstruct their roster. We're rolling, we're rocking, and we just got an end of the bench spot open. Go ahead and bring in D Rose at that point. But while we need this much, I don't know, man. Dwayne Taylor says, I'm willing to bet Pat Bev is going to mention Chicago Bulls Central on his podcast show one day. Keep raising to the top, Haize. Hey, listen, let's hope so. I hope that it can happen, bro. I know it can happen. Y'all know I got to throw in an ignorant joke in there from time to time, bro. Haize, I love you, man. I love you too, Austin, man. Thanks for being a good sport, bro. Some people would have got offended at that joke, man. I got to have fun. We got to have fun in here. If I don't crack jokes, something's wrong. So. Oh, man, that is funny, bro. Oh, man. I think Rose will eventually retire a Bull for ceremonial. He's absolutely retiring a Bull. He's going to do one of those, like, those contracts that Luol Deng and Joakim Noah sign just so you can retire technically as a Bull. So, Yo, Haize, I still can't believe some people think Wendell Carter is better than Vooch for this team. People just be talking crazy. Listen, I've broke that down so many times, man. So many times. If Rose is bought out, he need to go play for a chip, not the Bulls. Listen, hey, I don't disagree. I would love to see Derrick Rose get a championship, man. Haize, have you started? You finished? Yeah, I'm down 8 to 10 pounds. I think I'm down by like 9.5 pounds here in the last 3 weeks. So hey, listen, I've been getting it, bro. I need to still got another 20 to go. But yeah, I've started it, fam. I started it. On this play, do you see Chicago Bulls bringing Pat Bev back? There's definitely a world in which it happens. Definitely a world in which it happens. He'd almost have to accept a minimum level contract, kind of something like Goran Dragic was on. So we'll see. Drew says the Pat Bev effect is going to be tested tonight, night and for the rest of the playoffs. So yeah, I mean rest of the season. I said rest of the playoffs. So yeah. Let's see what else we got in the building. Archangel says, as so many experts have said, nobody has sacrificed more for this Bulls team, their own personal game than Vooch. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I know Vooch would have signed a contract. If the Bulls went to Vooch right now and offered a contract extension, he's going to accept it. As long as it's a respectful contract offer. I think that's the team's kind of waiting to see what they got to do in the offseason. I still think there's a high probability Vooch is going to be back. So we'll see. I struggle to call anything that Pat Bev affect until I see it against a young team that makes one of those fourth quarter runs against us or against a contender like the Suns. Well, hopefully the Pat Bev effect means that a team isn't going to go on a run like that. So I can see I definitely see what you mean there. You want to see it sustained over time for sure. Agree on that Terry Taylor comment. I want to see him play, to be honest. Trust me. Listen, I mean, hey, you never know what may happen. You never know what may happen. Mark Shannon says, my God, what are your weight and body? So even though I know I don't look like it, I'm a heavy motherfucker. I'm like 240 now. So ideally I want to get down to like 210, 205 area. So that's where I want to be. Ideally I want to get back to my playing weight. Like that's 195, but it's going to be a tall order before I get to that. So, but if I showed y'all back when I was playing football in high school and how I looked then, y'all be like, hey, how the fuck you let yourself get that fat, bro? Listen, life, man. Toronto not a major threat. We messing with fool's gold at the moment with these Bulls. I want to see this continuity that has preached by Acme. What up, Haize? That's funny. I think Acme at this point realizes that shit ain't gonna work. No, I'm actually not. I just carry weight well. I'm 5'10", like 5'10 and a half. I'm not even tall at all. So any news on Javonte's injury? No, and that's what's worrying me. Like, there's been no updates on Javonte's injury. That's crazy. Dalen Caruso and Beverly will be an annoying lineup to go against on defense. Oh, absolutely. Shay says, I was at 230 at the beginning of last season. Now I'm 205. Shout out to you, Shay, for getting in there and getting that work, bro. And you got to stop lifting those women, bro. You got to stop lifting those women. Mark says, because I'm 5'10", 207. If you look at my profile pic or my IG, you would think I'm way bigger than that. Well, muscle does way more than fat, my brother. I'm fat. I need to get that shit together. So, yeah, we need to get that together immediately. Javonte is running. Well, hey, I haven't seen that. Where do y'all be getting some of these updates at? Because I don't be seeing none of this shit nowhere. But hey, if Javonte's running, shout out to him, man. I hope that he does make a comeback. I hope that he's ready to go by the playoffs, because bringing in Javonte Green with this lineup and what we've been doing off the bench, man, that would be fun. Billy said he was progressing, but they said that about Lonzo, so don't believe it until he's back. That's for sure. I've seen on Javante, he's running, but no contact for another couple of weeks. Man, there's only 6 weeks left in the season, man. So that means he could possibly get back. Man, that's crazy. I think the Bulls are going to lose Vooch this offseason because another smart team is going to sign him to play center. I think it's a mistake that the Bulls did not sign Vooch before the season ends. Well, keep in mind, the Bulls can pay him the most, and European players are usually very low as long as you make them a respectable contract offer. So I think Vooch is a veteran. He's been in this league long enough to know it's a business. So if the Bulls come to the table with him and offer him a contract, I think he's going to come back. But all right, y'all, gonna wrap it up. Game starts in 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'll be back here for the halftime hangout, though. Make sure you guys are locked in here at halftime. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Go ahead and follow the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And then lastly, we're going to leave a text message and our voicemail for our mailbag episodes, 773-270-2799. Love you guys, man. Go Bulls. See Red. Let's get this dub, y'all. Peace.